Yo, Meghan and Harry, it's not. It's Robbo and Daddy Ernie, live and direct up in the building. Oh,
Hey,
Robbo,
without the scandal though.
what a week.
It's been a week. It's been a crazy week. I'm glad. I'm so happy that Meghan and Harry took the shine off the six. You'd have been coming here talking about the six is real. You'd have been playing squash, Daddy One, Chronic Law. You'd be finding all different types of way of describing the six. The six is real, but Meghan and Harry is much better. It's much better storyline, isn't it, Ernie? Anyway, well, how are you, Daddy Ernie?
I'm not bad. To tell you on this truth, Robert, I was going to ease you up this week, right? Because it's getting a little bit like monotonous every week. I'm coming on here and duffing you up because your team's flopping. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a little easy intro on him this week. Plus, you won last night, so I know you're in a good mood. And it was your birthday during the week as well, so you know you
don't care about you don't care about birthdays, bro. You didn't care about birthdays. You called me. You called me. You didn't even let me relax. Man was on. I took
into consideration your birthday, and then you said, "Can't you give me a day off?" And I said, "You know what? I'm going to give you 48 hours off." So from Wednesday, I never sent you nothing about Liverpool. I never called you, only on business to do with the fixture list. So I'm kind of easing you on this evening. Look, I never said nothing. I just said it's not Meghan and Harry. It's Robbo and Daddy Ernie.
it's Robbo and Larry. Yo, so people, it's been an amazing week. But when I say an amazing week, it's been an amazing week all round. There's lots of things going on. There's a lot of people I've spoken to. A lot of my elder brethren. I'm not going to ask you the question that was like, yeah, I've got my letter. I'm going to get a jab. So there's a whole heap of jabbings going on. There's a whole heap of brown people getting jabbed up.
Yeah, I'll tell you honest truth, Robert.
Tell me the honest truth, Ernie.
Huh?
Tell me the honest truth, Ernie.
I've had 2 texts and I've had a letter.
You get 2 texts and a letter? That's serious.
And a letter. Well, they sent the first text. I never paid no attention. Then they sent the letter that they sent out to everybody. I shredded that. Then they sent another text. And I'm saying to myself, well, why are they rushing me? We're not flying anywhere. We're not really going anywhere.
Just hold your joke, man. You're going like you're a bad man. Hold your joke, man. Take a joke, man, and tell me how it feels. You just report to us on a Friday.
You're the next group that they're penetrating right now. So you soon get your text and let us go.
I'm not in nobody. I ain't in nobody's group. Man, nah, take no joke, kids. Man, not doing it or not. Then nah, joke me up.
What do you want me to take it for then?
Because you're guinea pig Ernie.
I think Eddie was seeing if he was going to take it as well. I haven't heard nothing since. So I don't know if he has.
Talk, man. Eddie's all talk. Eddie was like, well, God, do you think, posting it up like it's a game.
Yeah.
Sit down, Eddie, and take your joke. Take a joke. Yeah.
It'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, all right, what he says a little bit later on. Can you see me still?
Yeah, of course we can see you.
Oh, okay. Yes, so it's going to be interesting.
We can see you, man.
I want to get that thing up. I want to get that thing up that you told me, but I think I might have pressed it a little bit too early, bro. So
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll get there, people. We'll get there. Listen, if you're watching right now on Facebook, do us a favor, please. Paste or just share. Just press the share button. That's all we ask you to do is press the share button, especially on Facebook, because Facebook, that lovely little community, they like people to share. So when you share on Facebook, it does wonders to the show. You did it last week. We were going on. We smashed records last week. It was actually a really big show last week. But today we got some really big guests on the show today. So press the share button. You've got the link to the show. You're watching it now on Facebook. Just share it in your page, and we can see all the people who share it. All the people who share it. That means they're the people that care for it. You understand? So if you do that, we'd be most grateful. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can also do the same. Watch it on YouTube, and it's really good to watch back on YouTube. So if you're watching back on YouTube, we are, as the man said, Martin Tyler, we're live.
Hey! So
The same
anyway,
Martin Tyler or that fool Gary Neville. This is Robbo Ranks and Daddy Ernie. Special guest on the show today.
yes,
He is funny enough, we've got two pioneers. I want to call them pioneers because
hey, Robbo, hold on 1 minute, right? Hold on. Let me just play this.
Now this one dedicated to all the black men in the world who don't proud to be black. Because black people in this world, we should be proud to be black. Why? Hey. Anything me say, I say, proud to be black.
Okay. Pull up.
Ernie, you need some sound effects. You need some effects. I gotta fix you up with some effects.
I got some effects here still
in
enough.
Would be
if you want me to turn on some effects, we can turn on some effects. But if you got them there live, when he comes in, we're gonna fix him up. You know what I mean?
I told you I'm in my attic. Remember, I've got to save on the heating, so it's warmer up here. So yeah, we have him in the building. He's a pioneer of watching on YouTube.
Anything me say, I say, proud to be black.
Okay.
You're playing your audio through earlier. You have him in the building. He's a pioneer of watching on YouTube.
Anything me say, I say, proud to be black.
Okay. What's that?
It's your audio that's looping. So you gotta stop it. He's a pioneer of watching on YouTube.
I'm gonna take my Facebook off. We haven't got it lined up properly. I don't know what's going on, mate. I think the Gremlins are sitting like the 6-1.
I was telling earlier, I know your thing, you and technology is not, but Ernie said, nah, me have the bad tune. I'm going to play it today.
so hey, you got it there? You ain't got it there, Robbo?
No, I haven't got it here. And I know we're gonna talk about it, but let me just tell you who's on the show. So he's a pioneer. You just heard his track. And when I say he's a pioneer of YouTube. I mean, what he's done over the years, and has become the biggest football fan channel in the world.
Yeah.
The biggest. Bar none, he has the biggest football channel in the world. I'm not sure if he's got a big team, but his channel is definitely the biggest in the world. And the other pioneer is obviously a friend of yours. He is a pioneer because only the third person to be capped by England. But what he done was actually remarkable, playing for a club that wasn't the most fashionable at the time, but Luton Town, but catch the eyes of the world. The great, the legend, the silky smooth. We all remembered him playing Ricky Hill. So both of them joining us on the show. And I'll say again, they are pioneers. And yeah, they're legends, Ernie. They're like you. They're legends.
Yeah, and you, Robbo, you're a bit of a legend still, because your team has made you become a legend.
My team?
Your team has made you become a legend because you support a team that has defended the title the worst in history. So you're a legend. You're a legend.
You won't let it go. I told you got to come back to those stats. I know Edward Nesta is the stats man. I know he likes his stats, but those stats only apply. We all remembered him playing Ricky Hills. You got your YouTube going again, Ernie. Just cut it off. Just joining us on the show. Yeah.
All right. So we give up on that one this week. We'll get the technical team to sort it out for next week.
Yeah. Shouts to Anthony in the back room. He's flying solo today. Anthony takes care of business. So is All Saint back?
Well, no, she ain't back. Ernie, mute the Facebook. Okay. No, she's not back yet. He said I must mute the Facebook.
Yeah, just end it. Just end it, Ernie. Just kill it. Kill it dead.
Okay. All right. So you don't want nobody to be watching on my Facebook page. You want all your Facebook people to be watching. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying just close down Dutty Book. Just close down the Dutty Book for a minute, and then we'll be fine. You know what I mean? Shouts to all the peeps that are hitting up the show. We've already got Lewis Mastermind. Guess who's in the building? We've got Paul Robinson in the house. If you're in the house, remember you can drop your comments on underneath the in the messages. We'll pick up all your messages, and especially the good ones. So that means Ronnie Biggs gets no mention today. We don't need him, Anthony. We don't need Ronnie. We don't need Ronnie today. But please drop your comments below. Drop it in the chat, and it shows the social media community that we've got clever people listening and watching the show. You know how it go already.
Yeah, man. And of course, we've got our email. We've got the email as well. Can we have the email up? If you want to email things in, because we really want to start getting people involved. So, you know, if you want to come on the show, we'll flash the email up. You just send us a little email, and then we'll just line you up and get you on the show. You know what I mean? My man Robert White wants to come on. He's
we've been saying that for a few weeks, but look at this Ronnie Biggs. Robert, you're dead. All right, cool. I'm dead. All right, cool. The 6 is real. We need to get him on the show. Shouts going out to our Governor General. Good evening, Governor General.
Yes.
So if you want to get, we like listen, we're music guys. We like football. We like music. We like football, and we like the interesting side of football, because there's been struggles that we've obviously faced as DJs, as promoters, as industry professionals. And I'm sure that happens the same in football. And this is one of the things that's kind of elevated the program to a lot of people, like saying, we like when you drop the conversations about Wagwan. So we're going to do more of that. But if you want to be involved, use the email, hit us up. If you have any suggestions, like we had suggestions to have Ricky Hill, and that book is about to drop, right?
Yeah, man, it's dropping. The 15th is dropping. So we're going to be talking to the man behind the book. And I've actually scan read it, and there's some very interesting pieces in there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's going to be good.
The love of the game, the book from Ricky Hill. We'll be talking about it later on. And I was surprised to see that Adrian Durham from Talk Sport had something to do with the book. I'm sure Ricky will tell us, because I tweeted out earlier on, we're going to have Ricky Hill. And to my surprise, I see Talk Sport Adrian Durham liking my tweets.
Okay. That's
Adrian Durham, Talk Sport.
He might even be watching.
Yeah, then I tweeted the next tweet. Brand new tune from Mavado. Watch that tune, yeah. But then he just disappeared.
But even going out to Trevor Ward. Now, Trevor Ward is a West Ham supporter. He would have been good to get on here today, because he's a West Ham supporter. But we didn't get him. Maybe we get him on next week after we bust him up at the weekend. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're going to talk about the weekend fixture, because this is the fixtureless show.
Yes.
I don't have to worry. I'm cool. I can hide till Monday, because our game is not until Monday with Wolves. So,
is that at Wolves or is that at Anfield?
I actually don't know. You know, it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm hoping it's not at Anfield, because if that's Anfield, we lose. Lose. It's at Wolves ground. So we're probably gonna win.
Well, Aaron White wants to know, what did we think of the derby last week? I think it was a tremendous performance by Manchester United. If they played like that for the most of the season, City wouldn't have been 15 points ahead of us. I don't know, man. They must have taken some rum or something like that. Because
don't you think that? I mean, the game was those types of games, and they didn't expect it to be that type of game. But they allowed Manchester United to play that type of game that they've been very successful with, playing away from home, just hitting teams on the break, quick transitions, and you know the accuracy of their shooters up front, your team. And it was almost like, you know, City just sleepwalked into that game, and they got exactly what they deserved.
Nothing. I mean, the early goal set us up nicely. You know what I mean? The early goal did set us up nicely.
But it would have happened anyway. You could see they were petrified of your strikers. And look, I did say, they you know, this look, they're having a good run, and their defensive record is brilliant. But I'll keep saying, Diaz, he ain't all that.
Well, but it wasn't Diaz who gave away the penalty. It was Jesus.
Well, Jesus was hanging around trying to keep Diaz looking good. He ain't all that. Diaz ain't all that.
Well, I mean, they went and done smashed Southampton 5-2 after that.
Yeah, well, that's the bit that we all kind of know and see will be like that's always the end game when it comes to Man City. They'll tear the teams that are not ready for Man City are not ready for this exchange of football. They get torn to
top pop. You know what I mean?
But well done, Man United, for winning. It would be interesting to see what Rodney's got to say, and full Eddie Nesta, Ed the Red. Yeah.
I think Chelsea's looking kind of good, you Robbo. I think that we might be fearful for them next season, you know, because the boy, they look like he's got them playing.
Come on, we've all predicted that he's going to be gone soon, bro.
But I don't know. If
Chelsea
he keeps on going on like how he's going on, I think he'll be there next season. And I think
why? If you don't, but you know the thing with Chelsea. If you don't win,
bye.
Chelsea, it doesn't change. Abramovich is like, have you won lately? He doesn't even call you on the boat again. Bye, Frank. Bye.
Have you seen the pictures of his new boat? Oh my God, how much money has that man got?
So he ain't playing about. The man needs his cheddar.
You
Bye. Chelsea knows what comes, man. That comes, man. You just lose 4 games on the bounce at Chelsea.
Oh yeah. But at the moment, they're looking good. You got to admit that. We got to admit that.
We all know. We all knew there was a good team in Chelsea. We always knew there's a very good team in Chelsea. There's something about the team that kind of formed on the back of not having the opportunity to sign players, and some of the players that came into the team, which they keep saying Frank implemented, but okay, let's give it to Frank. They've come good. Mason Mount is a decent little player. I don't know if he might win the battle. I don't think he's the type of player that's going to win the war, mate. No chance.
Guess who says he wants to hear you say that again?
Say what?
Well done, Manchester United.
Oh, well done, Manchester United. Listen, okay. Let me just say this. Robbo, when it comes to football, I wear this with pride. I take my licks. I'll take my 6 if I have to take 6. If Minor's blocked me, would take Vicks. But I take my licks. And I listen, if I dish it, I can take it. So there you go.
Okay. All right. So
unlike you, Ernie.
Oh, I can take it. I was talking to a Manchester United supporter, my mate Roy, right? Who I have to question if he's a Manchester United supporter. Because the way he was going on, you know what I mean?
The clip that was posted. There was a clip posted last week, man. You was losing it, bro. I was worried for you there.
I was losing it.
You said, Ed, you Ed. What kind of prediction is that, Ed? You were having a fight, and then even I mean, Ed realized that if he had to calm you down and say, look, let's take it out of the room, Ernie, because we can't do this Manchester United fallout in front of Robbo Ranks, because you know it's going to be murder.
Look at this Master Blaster geezer now. Oh, him. At least we know the Muppets won't be winning the title this season. Not won it since Fergie retired, and Daddy Ernie humming the Hovis theme, yearning for the old days of Fergie and Howard Webb. That sounds like somebody who just hear about football the other day. Obviously,
that's somebody that knows the reality of football. Manchester United ain't winning anytime soon, bro.
Well, it will be left to see, because I know that you lot ain't winning it anytime soon, because you can't even defend it.
Listen, if there was a deterioration of the team, the quality, I'd be worried about Liverpool. I am not worried. I just know that when things level off and like the man them get their summer.
You're sounding like Boris now. You're sounding like Boris. We're leveling off.
We level up. When we get back, when we get back our toys, we'll be fine. My team is not deteriorating. And as Klopp has said, I am not leaving. I'm here eating Twix. Or is it marathon? He done an advert, didn't he? Is it a marathon advert or a Twix?
I don't even know what.
Snickers. Yeah.
Well, he can say what he wants, but if Angela Merkel said, "Here, what happened? Flop, come," he's going. Because when Angela speaks, Germans shake.
No, Jurgen Klopp has had his Snickers. Watch the advert.
Okay.
Said, you get calm down, man. You get too angry, and he's just had that Snicker advert. Shoot, wrong time though. Wrong time. That Snicker ad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shouts going out to Paul Robinson. Cyrus Christie's a good player. Cyrus Christie. Who's Cyrus Christie?
Who's Cyrus Christie? I've never heard of him. You know, I'm looking for
Linford's brother. He might be Linford's brother.
Yeah.
Is he a sprinter?
A lunchbox.
Pardon?
Has he got a lunchbox?
I don't know. Ask Dwight York's ex.
Oh no, she want.
So people. I don't know who's going to be joining us out of our team early enough today.
Well, Rodney's here. Rodney's in.
Oh, the great Rod. Oh, well, Well, it's time to bring some sensibility into the show.
But I've been here already. What do you mean?
Huh?
I've been here for a long time. We've about sensibility. I've been there for a long time.
Hey, Ernie, the people that said me, you're an idiot, and we don't know nothing about football. So let's bring in the football people. If Rodney Hines is in the house,
the voice of reasoning, the voice of
newspaper.
Yeah, the voice newspaper. He ain't gonna be walking off the set anytime soon.
Rodney,
Good evening.
Rodney's not the type of person that bullies, and then when he's being bullied, he runs. You're not run. You're not one of those people there, Rodney. You're not a running Rodney.
Not me. As you said, if you dish it out, you got to take it, man. This is a game that humbles people. Trust me.
Most definitely. And I'm here. I'm the voice of humbleness. I am humbled. It's been a mad week for you press boys, Rodney.
Hello, Jazz.
We've had I don't know what his official title, but the dude that sits as the chairman of you writers, and I suppose that it goes from sports to politics to everything.
Ian something.
He resigned because he said that I don't know if he was drinking. I don't know if he had a white rum. He said the press, the British media, we're not racist. And he put out this statement. And then I heard a lot of your colleagues, including yourself, I hope so, had countered it and said, "You're talking rubbish, pal. Have you worked in our offices?" That must have been a weird moment, you guys being called out for, well, not you particularly, but for racism.
Well, Rob.
Well, I mean, listen, he's since resigned or been moved on, hasn't he? So that tells you everything you need to know. An outrageous statement. If he wants to talk for the whole of the press, he's a braver man than I am. Do you know what I mean? So absolute nonsense. He's gone now. We know that the press and the media sets the agenda, don't we, in this country? Whether it be about Meghan, whether it be about Raheem Sterling or Piers Morgan. So yeah, as I said, a crazy week, but there have been several crazy weeks of late. So we just take it and we move on.
When you obviously, I've asked you this question before, but when you go to analyze matches and bring back your story on the football games, and you're sitting around and you're watching the other guys who are clipping for other newspapers, do you get that? Hey, that camaraderie, or do sometimes you feel there's a feeling of being snubbed because you're the writer from a black newspaper?
Yeah, I've been snubbed in the past, but it's never put me off. I've been around a little while now. Yeah, I think like any industry, there's going to be little cliques and people that you resonate to and other people that you don't really want to get involved with. And that happens, in my profession as well. As you said, when we're all watching a game, there's some people that you don't want to get on with. It might not quite be Sheringham and Cole at Man United back in the day, but like those two, you get on with it and do the best you can.
So, Rod, what do you reckon on I mean, it's a football show, but what do you reckon on the Meghan words then? Because, it's once again, the racism business has reared its head again.
Yeah, it's reared its head. I don't think any of us really fell over with any surprise. I think the surprise has probably come from the reaction of people like Piers Morgan. I mean, when you're living in a world where mental health, and especially over the last year or so, has been right to the fore, how can a man like that just totally dismiss what she said, say that she's a liar? That's the real story. I mean, what Meghan did was speak her truth. She's entitled to do that. Do you know what I mean? Harry spoke his truth and very clearly didn't want to be following another coffin as he'd done with his mother many years ago. And we know the implications and how that affected him. And what he's done, he's protecting his wife, he's protecting his family, as any fair-minded man would do. The fact that it involves the royals is what makes it really, really juicy. But with all due respect, if you look at the track record of the royals, whether it be Andrew, Princess Anne, the Queen's sister Margaret, right? Guess what? It isn't all clean. It isn't all pure. Do you know what I mean? So I don't fall over. Maybe because I'm involved in the media and I know some of the stories and the subplots behind the headlines, I'll probably take it with a pinch of salt. But don't believe everything that you read or hear in the media. It's plainly not true.
Most definitely.
And well done to Oprah Winfrey as well, and to Tyler Perry.
Yes.
Tyler Perry. So listen, if you need somewhere to live, somewhere to hang out,
yeah, that's right.
you can't find, you can't get a booking on Airbnb.
Mm.
You just hit up Tyler. Just
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And that whole scenario must wind up so many people, mustn't it? Black man helped them out in terms of their accommodation. Black dying of chat shows, Oprah. Wonderful interview. And it was done in a way that just confirmed that Oprah is that woman in terms of interviewing the biggest and the best names in the world.
Listen, Oprah's style. I mean, I've watched Oprah. I try to do my damn hardest when I'm dealing with the culture, the music. But Oprah's interview technique. I mean, just the facial expression when she said, yeah, somebody even asked about the color the baby might be, and Oprah's face was like, that look alone was a
but you should have checked. You should have checked the right hand. It looked like she was going to drop somebody.
She held herself by saying, she held back by saying who, because she knew she didn't have to ask who. That was the bomb drop right there. You didn't have to say who said it. You just went.
But you know the thing about the racism issue. I mean, I know obviously we're going to be talking football. All I'd say this: what Megan has done, as far as I'm concerned, is just left something at the back of people's minds. So no one's been named, and it's almost like if you come for me again, right? I'm going to drop that name out. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to drop that name into the scenario, and then it kicks off again, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what she's done.
Like we're going to do score prediction. I think we should have a prediction. Who actually said Alpha Brown baby? I think.
Well, hold on. There was something on social media when Prince Charles, Camilla, John Terry was on there. It was on there.
Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche.
I don't want him playing for me. He or she. I don't want him playing for me. Not for me. Not playing for Burnley.
Listen.
I love that.
We got our special. Robbo, you reckon I could play this before we bring him in or what?
But you might do that echoing thing, man. Listen. Go on then.
Now this one dedicated to all the black money men of the world who don't proud to be black. Because black people in this world, we should be proud to be black. And I'm going to tell you why. Hey. Anything me say, on say, proud to be black. Anything me say, on say, proud to be black. Anything me say, on say, proud to be black.
Hey, not everybody. Archie might have a problem with it though. Archie might say, me, give me my money, me.
Big up Alex. Well, we got big up Alex who make Pierce left him salt.
Listen, the song you just heard is one of our guests tonight, and I'm telling you straight, this man is a pioneer because what he's done for the YouTube culture, he is the first, and he currently owns the biggest fan channel in the world. The biggest fan channel, not a franchise. It's owned by the Don himself, our special guest, Don Robbie. Crucial Robbie in the building.
Robbie in the building.
How you doing, man? Long time I heard that tune, man. Long time.
And you still DJ like that, Robbie. Anything was Arsenal flop. Anything was say Arsenal flop. Can you still do that?
Hey. Behave yourself, man. Behave yourself. Right, that Arsenal flop. I'm sending a copy to the royal family.
hey, Robbie, I know secretly you're still getting checks for that song because I know a certain brother, one of my good friends who works for a company, who said, hey, have you got a link for Crucial Robbie? I said, you don't need to check Robbie. You don't need your little money no more.
Now, where's that check? We're not getting no check yet.
Robbo's got it. Robbo's redirecting it to itself.
Yeah, Robbo. Yeah, we're going to have to talk after this, man. Where's that check at?
It's Crucial Robbo. So I'm going, Rob.
No, I'm good. You know what? We've got like a sort of studio, which is in Finsbury Park. So we're literally like about 5-10 minutes walk away from the ground. So we've just been filming all day. We had a game last night, obviously, against Olympiacos, and then like today, obviously it's the North London derby at the weekend. So just literally just been filming loads and loads of content. And then before this, I was on a podcast with some Tottenham guys. It was their podcast, so I was on that as well. So it's been a busy old day, man, but it's good, man, and it's good to be talking to you guys.
It's great to have you, bro. I know you put in the hours, man. You know, for anybody that knows about doing live and streaming. I mean, I try to knock out 2 radio shows a week, and it's one of the hardest tasks. You know what I mean? When you're out doing your thing, you put in some serious hours. How many hours a week do you put in? Because people grudge you for the success of your channel. Just tell them the amount of hours you do a week, Monday to Monday.
How many hours? Wow, I don't even know, man. I work. I'd say I work definitely 7 days a week. I mean, last night I probably got in at about. We had the Olympiacos game, so I probably got in at about. I think it's just after 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I was back in here at 10 o'clock. And then I've just been here, as I said, I'm still here now, right? So you put it, you know where I got that discipline from, right? And that work ethic was from back in the day doing music.
From Sovereign.
And you know, you guys, listen, we used to lift bucks them time there when the night finished as well on top of that. So you know what, I always look on that and I think to myself, with what I do now, that really gave me the discipline, that really gave me the drive, you know, and you know, you guys know, man, because you're still in it to this day. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in, man. And that's, you know, when I first came into doing what I was doing here as well, I mean, I have no money. All I had was myself, and you got to put the work in. And the work can kind of sometimes negate the money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we're up against sometimes companies that can throw lots of money at things, but we got the talent, we got the work ethic, and if you put that into it, you know what I mean, you can go very far. And you know, as I said, I think I learned a lot of that from being in the reggae industry. You know what I mean? I used to keep a lot of dances and events.
No,
Ernie will know that. Remember Ernie? Remember back in the day?
You still owe me one.
Sorry?
You still owe me.
I still.
You cut me short. I went to go and play. I went down the road. I went down the motorway to play for Robbie down at 5-0. Well, now I ain't been played.
Oh, come on, man. You lie.
5-0 nightclub. You owe me. You know you do, man.
I mean,
no, man. I always paid up, man. I always paid up. I weren't one of them promoters. Remember back in the day, you got them promoters who just rip and run off.
No, Robbie, no, you wasn't a rip and run off because you were there. This man is the king of residencies, but boy, you see when Robbie scrunch it up like this.
because he's happy.
Me, I feel.
Oh, no.
You don't talk like that, no. This me, I feel.
No, you know what? As I said, man, that work ethic has stayed with me, man, to this day. You know what I mean? And that sort of, you know, sort of wanting to do stuff yourself has stayed with me, and it really, really helped me in this industry. So yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's been a good ride. But I'm pleased to see that you guys are still doing your thing, man. Daddy Ernie, legend.
Well, you know, we come from the same school, only that you make more money than me now.
No, but you got it stored up, man.
Yeah. All right.
You got it stored up, Daddy Ernie, man, for all the years. I remember going back in the day, man, to your record shop.
Yeah.
Daddy Ernie, man, when he used to go to Daddy Ernie's record shop in Arleston there, man. You know what I mean? And then
it was expensive, you know. Ernie, you had to pay that extra. You know, you had to pay that extra for Ernie. You didn't just that extra, but it's true, it's Ernie, you know. He said, you know what, Starlight, you know what I mean? Pay the extra. Ernie's got it stacked. Don't worry about that, bro. We know that.
Hey, Robbie, we got one of your fellow supporters on with you this evening here. The one and only Mr. Rodney Hines. I don't know, Rodney, you want to say something to Robbie, because you know,
his shoulders is broad, Rodney.
No, I mean, just big respect. I mean, me and Robbie have had several chats over the years. I know what he's done. I know what he's doing. And when Robbo did that intro, pioneer and legendary stuff that, you know, that Robbie's doing, do you know what I mean? It set the standard and template, and others have tried to copy and follow it. They haven't quite made it, but whether they make it or not, they've been inspired. So it's just pure love. And I watch the content all the time. I think it's fantastic. And I think with Robbie, it's a case of, because I do keep an eye on the content, always trying to improve, always trying to do something different, getting a very diverse team in as well that I see in front of the camera. It's fantastic. Young people, women, it's fantastic. I just hope it goes from strength to strength. And I hope Arsenal TV have a few happier stories to share as the weeks go and the months go by.
I mean, Robbie,
thank you. Another legend in the game. I remember back in the day with Rodney, right? The first time, this is back to my music days, the first time I was in The Voice. Oh, that's like you've arrived. You know what I mean? That's like you've arrived, man. I'm in The Voice, man. You know what I mean? So, and I think, guys like Rodney, are absolute legends in the black. I don't. Where's the knighthood, man? Where's the knighthood for guys like Rodney for what they've done in the business? Although I don't know, with what's going on right now with the royal family, you might not get that. You might have to wait.
I'm all right where I am. Yeah, I'm all right. I'll get it from Oprah. I'm happy.
Talking about knighthood, we got someone who's got an MBE waiting. Red the Ed.
Oh.
Ed the Red. Who wants to come?
Greetings. Greetings. I just tuned in and I heard you, Robbie, good evening to you, describe Ernie as a legend. I heard you describe Rodney as a legend, and then you look and said that boy over there.
Robbie.
Robert, no. You know what?
I am happy.
Robbo's a legend, man.
In his own ass.
No. Listen, Robbo ranks a legend as well, man. Legend. I know Robbo going way back, man, from when Robbo had his sound Tippertone. And way back, man. And again, I know Robbo's been grinding for years before he made the big breakthrough on the radio and stuff like that. So, no, big up Robbo, man. Big up Robbo. And you were a legend until I saw that Man United talk.
Robbo, listen,
he's top this evening, Robbo. Look, he's Man United top this evening.
I just want to say to you right there, you can only really work on that because everybody's unhappy. The actual unhappiness that watching Arsenal TV, right? Every other team supporter watches you guys. You guys are it, because the way you lot fight with each other is hilarious.
Nah. I wouldn't say that. You know why? I watched the dude that does the Newcastle channel. And I thought there was a bag of barley on Arsenal fan TV. Not done. The brother that does the Newcastle channel. Robbie, you ain't got barley like that brother up there.
To be fair, right? To be fair, they got a lot to bawl about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Do you know what the thing is about I'd say our channel. I think it's a reflection of football fans in general. You know what I mean? You're really high when your team's doing brilliantly. When your team's suffering, you're really down. You know what I mean? I think we just reflect that. You know what I mean? We kind of like have bought TV cameras to those conversations that people have in a pub, conversations that people have at home when they're watching games, conversations they have at grounds. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's become so popular, because, other football fans, I go obviously up and down the country and around everywhere with Arsenal. And football fans always come up to me and say, you know what, I enjoy your channel because it's like, we've got a guy like that in our fan base, and we got a guy like that in our fan base. So, and even like you watch the Man United channel, they've been losing. I mean, last night I was watching one of those Man United channels.
We didn't lose last night.
That last minute goal winning, they were losing it.
Yeah, but we didn't lose.
We didn't lose.
All right, calm down.
Can I ask you one question? I saw one the other day, and I nearly sent a message back way because I was a bit scared, because it seemed to me on a real one there that clearly you're enjoyed, but there is a contingent who don't appear to have very much love for you. are you bothered by that at all?
No, I'm not, because what it is, you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. There's some people that are real traditionalists, and they feel that, you know, they don't like AFTV. They don't like what we do. They don't like the fact that we allow fans to have their open and honest opinions. But I just look on it and say, listen, I don't like everything I listen to. I don't like everything I watch on TV. And yeah, that's cool. If they don't want to like it, that's up to them. You know what I mean? We are not trying to. I don't think there's anybody who could do anything to do with their football club and please every person in that fan base. You just couldn't. Yeah, I mean, you could be doing something on Manchester United, and you could be super positive, for instance, about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You're going to have other people that are going to be like, no, what are these guys talking about? You know what I mean? There's so many different opinions when it comes to football that you just cannot please everybody. So I'm not here to try and please everybody. I'm just here to give an open platform where fans can have a right to, you know, have a chance to have their say. And that's what we do.
Well, you do it really well. I must say, like Rodney said, the content that you put out, you've tried to improve. I mean, the first initial stages of when Wenger was manager and the Wenger
that channel was responsible for getting rid of Wenger.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yes.
Wenger out. Wenger. No, it wasn't out. It wasn't then. Wenger out became now. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I want to say, but it wasn't. But Wenger out became a trending hashtag. Now, when a manager, even like Klopp's having these problems, Klopp out, but Wenger out hashtag started with Arsenal fan TV. But you've improved your content so much, and as I said, the content that you do away from Arsenal fan TV, even if you're not an Arsenal fan, you have to take your hat off to Robbie, because Robbie's identified fan channel. I don't know what you call it, but you've done it better than anybody else. Trust me.
As I was saying earlier, I think you've got to respect the content, because it's not just about Arsenal losing. I mean, I can tune in, and I know Troops is no longer with you, Rob, but some of the content, and you guys would sort of like film outside the stadium and have different people talking. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn about football and how the club and the fan base is feeling. So it's not just a gimmicky thing, as far as I'm concerned. No. You know, there's proper discussion about players and individuals. For me, I think Troops' and your relationship with Aubameyang, for example, was great, because sometimes he would respond to you on social media and you could give a little snippets, you know. So it does provide entertainment if Arsenal lose, I'm sure, for other fans. And it'll be fascinating to see what happens at, say, 6 o'clock on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the North London derby, and everyone's going to want to know what's going on.
Tasty.
The thing is, right? The thing is about us, right, is that we're consistent with our content. We go to every single game, home, away. We go to games that don't even make sense, and we're there, right? And we've done that since day one.
That's quite a few.
Since day one, we've done every single game. So anybody who really follows our content will know that it's more than just about having a rant outside a stadium. You know, we've just invested a load of money, as I said, in a studio, where, you know, now we're knocking out so much quality content on a day-to-day basis. So, and everybody who comes on, these are genuine Arsenal fans. You've got a lot of different characters, but it's all generic. It's all genuine. It's not contrived, and that's why people enjoy it so much. And this is what football's all about. And I like what you said earlier, Rodney, about it being a real sort of diverse fan base, because like a team like Arsenal, teams like Man United and Liverpool all have a very diverse fan base. And one of the things that I've been very proud of is that we've been able to show that, and we haven't had to go out of our way to try and show that. We've just given those people a chance to have their say. Those people that once upon a time nobody would approach them to have to get their opinion on Arsenal, because in their eyes they didn't look like a typical Arsenal fan, or they don't look like a typical United fan. But we will approach them because they are a fan. And
speaking of United,
we've shown a really diverse fan base.
Speaking of United, I know that one of the things that kind of really tipped the scale for you was when Dirty Gary Neville from Dirty Man United had a lot to say about you.
Why is he dirty? Why is he dirty?
Because he played for Man United, of course. That's
that's a man who's dirty over at Liverpool. Wait me.
Ernie's been on the rare nephew again, you know.
It's easy to already. The episode with you and Gary Neville.
Yeah.
That definitely. I mean, there's a few episodes. Your talk sport moment with Master Blaster said with Simon
Jordan.
Nutty Simon Jordan. Nutty Gary Neville one. That was amazing because he made Gary Neville's a brilliant analyst at football, and I echoed everything you said when you actually met him, because at the end of the day, when you judge him on what he does, analyzing the game of football, he's brilliant. But when he made that call that your fan channel is annoying and stuff that you do, and for you to take him up on it, and then him responding by getting together in the room, I think that was a seminal moment for us.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant moment. Didn't think so it was going to be at the time, but it was a brilliant moment in that I think it showed a lot of the traditional media that probably thought we were just gonna. They probably thought we were gonna. I truly thought that they thought we were going to turn up in that room and shout and attack Gary Neville, and we didn't. We came in and we listened to what he had to say, and then we told him what we had to say. And I thought that was a brilliant moment, because a lot of the traditional media have given us a lot of stick over the years. Still do some of them,
It's a sign of success, Rob. Exactly. Because it means that you're coming up on their radar. I don't do a sports show, and you going around. That's when I interviewed you. When you were going around all the stadia in order to try and raise money, those types of things, the conversation, the way you conducted yourself with Jordan, those sorts of things show you to be an articulate, intelligent guy. And I mean, I think that transcends sport, if I might say so.
But we were talking earlier on though about the royal family and the coverage, right? And it's just that things are now being done differently, and that's what Robbie's been doing with Arsenal Fan TV. And what it does, and I know this, having worked for The Voice as long as I have, as long as something different comes along in the world of media, there's going to be suspicion, and there's going to be doubt, and there's going to be negativity. And what you have to do, you have to ride it out.
Yeah,
look, listen. You don't ride it out just because you want to do that. You have to continue. You heard the hours that Robbie's doing every day still. He's not got the cigar out and the carpet slippers. Yeah, still grafting, because that's what we got to do.
100%.
You like her cigar though. You do like a cigar.
but 100. What Rodney says there is 100%, and I look on it and I say we're disruptors in the business. Yeah, we've disrupted the industry. There's always kind of been a certain way, and some people don't always like it, but it does make me laugh, because I still see. So I'll see, like, for instance, some people in traditional media, which I respect. I have no, I respect Gary Neville. I respect all these guys. They work very hard and they're very good at what they do. But I'll see them, for instance, have a go at, not Gary Neville in particular, but traditional media sometimes have a go at us, say, having a DT or a Troops on because they're very controversial characters. But then I'll watch Sky and they've got Roy Keane on, who's a very controversial character. And they've, but no, and so what's the difference? You know what I mean? So listen, like Rodney said, you just got to do your thing, man. You can't be derailed. You can't be derailed by these guys. If you're doing something that's kind of new, you're gonna get that stick. You're gonna get that. It's nothing to me, man.
The challenge. The challenge for the wider sports family is that I don't have to watch Sky Sports or Match of the Day traditionally anymore to get my opinion.
That's right.
Sense. And with all due respect, when I see Robbie's output and other people, because I think other fan TV channels have to pay homage to Robbie and what he's doing, as far as I'm concerned, I don't necessarily want to get my opinion from a Gary Neville all the time anymore, or a Danny Murphy or a Jermaine Genius. They're all doing great jobs, but because of social media and the world that we live in, I can now get an opinion from Robbie or from Troops or anybody else for that matter. And that's where I think people's noses have been put out of joint.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. I'll come back afterwards.
No, I was just going to say that, those are real fans. that go to games, that support their team through thick and thin. And it's always nice to hear their opinions. And that time when I went on to, for instance, like Talk Sport, and I had that little run-in with Simon Jordan, that was the point I was trying to make to him. I was like, what gives you the right to look down on those fans who pay their money, go and watch their team week in, week out? Why are they not allowed to have their say? Just like you have your say, they having their say. You're having your say on Arsenal, and you don't even go to Arsenal games. These are guys that go week in, week out. They're allowed to have their opinion. And now they have a platform where their opinion gets heard, and it gets heard by not one or two people, but gets heard by hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, when you control the narrative.
Sorry.
No, go on.
No, I was going to take it back, and I made some pronouncements next week. I just noticed that Jose Mourinho says that he doesn't look down, he looks up. This is ahead of the North London derby. Are you afraid that you won't be able to eat them burgers or smoke them cigars if Arsenal ever approach what they should be and where they should be?
No, that's again, last year, for instance, our biggest viewed videos, and this is the other myth, that Arsenal, we want Arsenal to lose, or Arsenal, when they lose, we benefit from. Our biggest views last season was when Arsenal won the FA Cup. As I said, we do every single Arsenal game, win, lose, and our dream is to see Arsenal winning titles and getting back to where they should be.
Can you do it under Arteta, though?
Well, it remains to be seen, isn't it? He's new into the job. But how I look on it is that, again, that's where people miss the trick. When they feel that this thing's all based on teams losing and people losing it, they're absolutely so far off the mark. It's unbelievable. But for me, I just laugh because then they're not seeing the secret source of what we do. And if they don't do that, that helps me to continue to get bigger in what we're doing.
One of the things that you said is that people believe that because you haven't had a post in the game, like Simon Jordan's claim to fame is I owned a football club. He owned a football club and he wrecked a football club. He's not a very good businessman. A lot of people claim that if you haven't had that front seat insight, you haven't been in the dressing room, you don't watch the game. And what I see, what you do on Arsenal Fan TV, it's about seeing the game with the two things you have in your head, your eyes. It's about watching the game with your eyes.
Robbo, you know what it is with us, yeah? Right? We're not saying that we've seen it from being in the boardroom. I'm not saying that I've been in a changing room with a player. I'm saying it from what I see sitting as a fan. Right? Because, they've got their point. He's got his point of view as the owner of a club. So, yes, he will have more insight into certain things around what goes on in a boardroom. But he can't tell me what goes on the terraces. He can't tell me a fan's point of view who sits in the terraces, pays his money, goes up and down the motorway to follow his team. He can't tell me that, and he can't tell the people that come on here. And that is our point of view. We do not pretend to have the knowledge of Gary Neville, of Simon Jordan in their parts of expertise. But in our area of expertise, which is as fans that watch our club week in, week out, they can't tell us.
Oh, yes.
We're just looking at it from a different point of view than what they look at it from. And that's why I found some of the things he said so wrong. Because, you run a football club. Yes, you know more about the boardroom. I've never been in a boardroom to know how that goes on. And I'll defer to you on that. But don't tell me about going away to watch Manchester United on Arsenal play Manchester United on a Monday night in the FA Cup. Don't tell me about going abroad to Baku to watch Arsenal play when you're sat at home. You can't tell me about that. You can't tell me what goes on around there. You can't tell me how the fans felt after that game. We're there with them. You can't tell me. You can make you can have your opinion on what you feel, but I can tell you exactly how they feel because we are there with them. And that is the difference, and that's what they don't get.
Most definitely. But wait, Robbie, let me pull you up. Let me pull you up though. You said you ain't in the boardroom. I heard you got a nice position in the boardroom at Arsenal. They love you. They're like listen,
they wouldn't have me in the boardroom. That's
Robbie,
100%.
I heard good sources. You know, Ernie, you know my good sources always good sources, right, Ernie?
I wish I was in the boardroom.
I heard they said when Emery came in, they invited you in. They said, we need to speak to Arsenal Fan TV. And they said, Robbie, ease. And then when Arteta come in, Robbie, tell me I'm not on the right lines. They actually calm, Robbie.
I wish you was talking the truth, man, and I wish I was in those boardrooms. I ain't never been. I've never been.
But do you get approached from the press people at Arsenal? Because I'm sure they must by now understand that the opinions of the fans coming through Arsenal Fan TV has a great effect on their money.
I'm not in. I've never been in a boardroom at Arsenal. We don't have press passes. We don't even get invited into. As I said, we don't even get invited into the press area of Arsenal. I've been in there once, and the one time that I went in there, I was doing. They were doing a special feature on Match of the Day, and they were doing a feature involving me. And when I walked into that press area, I remember them all turning around and looking as if to say, "What the hell is he doing in there?" Right? So, the thing is about it, Robbo. Right, with what we do, I don't really necessarily want to be in the press area because I want to be where the fans are. Yeah, I don't need to sit in the press area and get a free cup of coffee and food and then go out and get a blanket and watch the game. I want to be with the real fans.
That's what Rodney like.
Get a pie and a blanket.
Hey, so what about Bellerin?
I'll tell you what, man. When I walked into that press area at Arsenal, I saw all the food and I was going, "What? This is how these men are rolling."
It is nice. I've been there. It's very nice.
Hey, that's why Rodney comes in here on a Friday. He's so chuffed because he's now going to empty grounds. He's got all the food to himself. But Robbie, what about
one time I've been in there. Once I've ever been in there, and it was, as I said.
I believe you, Robbie. I believe you. I was only joking about that.
I know you're only joking.
I'm only joking. I want to ask about Bellerin. I was going to ask him about the Bellerin situation, Ernie, because Bellerin also, he's a player now, and you built up this nice relationship. We see it all the time in your content with Lacazette and Mankal Aubameyang, and here comes Bellerin with his shirt tucked in his shorts, chatting a bag of things about Arsenal Fan TV. How did you take that? Because a player now has questioned what you guys do as a channel. How did you feel about that, Robbie?
Do you know what? Again, I had no problem with it, right? As I said, I'm not begging no one to like what we do, right? There's some players that, I've spoken to players that are like, Robbie, we're cool with fans giving their opinions as long as they're, respectful. If we play crap, we know that the fans are going to say we play crap. If we play good, we know they're going to praise us. Hector Bellerin had a different opinion on it. My only thing with Hector Bellerin, when you go out there on the pitch, just play well for Arsenal. I can't expect every player to like what we do. So I've got no problem with him. I just want him to, when he gets on that pitch, play your best. Whilst you're at this football club, play your best for Arsenal Football Club. The only thing I would say is that he could leave Arsenal. They could be, a deal could come in and for Barcelona or PSG or whatever, and he could be playing for them next week. I'll still be here. I can't leave Arsenal. This is my club, right? I can't get a transfer out.
It's tribal.
We haven't won nothing for a long time. It would be nice to get a transfer to PSG, but I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I know Ernie wants to jump in, but can I ask a political question first of all? Because it is political. It wasn't played out as political in the press, but I know their allegiances. Why didn't Arsenal fans do more to support Ozil? Because that wasn't a footballing decision, was it?
That's what I wanted to ask.
I think with the Ozil situation, I don't think it was just political. If I'm being honest with you, I really don't. I think when you say political, explain what what political? Where you coming from with that?
Tribal allegiances to countries. He had sympathies with a country that didn't really sit right politically and would put the club in a challenging situation.
Okay, but so you're talking obviously with the situation with the Uyghur Muslims in China. Right? Right. I think when Ozil spoke out about that, I think the fans really respected him for doing that. I still don't think, this is just my own personal opinion, I don't really feel that that's the reason why they really turned against him, because if you kind of looked at the situation, he was still playing even after he said that. I think the club were upset with him, definitely, for speaking out, and I think I respect him for speaking out, but I think the club were upset with him. But where I really think the club really fell out with him was when he refused to take a pay cut. When he said that he's not taking a pay cut and he wants to see what the club are going to do with the money at the time of the whole pandemic, that's when I felt behind the scenes that decision was made that he's got to go.
He was hardly playing every week, though, was he, Robbie?
He was playing up until the end of that season. And if you remember, then we had the pandemic. When the whole pay cut thing came in and he refused, after that, he never played a game again.
Did the fans support him, though? Do you think the fans support him? Do you think the fans' support of Ozil after him saying not taking a pay cut changed?
I think it was very split. I think there were some fans that, felt like he should have taken a pay cut. And I think there were a lot of other fans. I think it was about half and half. I think there was another half a set of fans that were like, well, you know what? I don't blame him for not taking a pay cut, because I think when it boils down to Ozil or the board of Arsenal, Ozil will win 100% because there's not a lot of love for the board. So when Ozil started saying things, well, I don't know, I don't trust them, I don't know where this money's going to go, that resonated with a lot of fans, because they're like, yeah, what are they going to do with this money they saved? Are they going to go and get any better players? Are they going to reduce the ticket prices or anything like that? No, they're not. So I think then Ozil, had a lot of support from the fans. But I think there was also
Ozil.
I think there was a lot of also fans there that were like, it had come to the end. It was time to move Ozil on. He'd been at Arsenal for a long time, and you could see that we did need to move him on. But the whole situation was such a mess. It was ridiculous.
I hear you, Robbie. I don't think it was listen, I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of Arsenal, so I don't know. But I don't think it was that much of a mess. I do believe the conversation about China had muddied the water, but I think the cast was already casted that you guys from Emery came in. You just didn't fancy him. You didn't fancy him.
That's true.
You made the mistake and you gave him a hefty contract. And he's like, well, you signed me, I'm staying. That's why I said I stand with Ozil, because you gave him the contract.
Listen, Ozil didn't really do anything wrong. We gave him that contract, or the board gave him that contract, and he just said, listen, I'm honouring my contract. He's not done anything wrong at the end of the day, right? He's basically, the club wanted him out. Number one, because his performances are dip, but they wanted to save a load of money.
Didn't he say he was going to pay the wages of one of your mascots or something, Rob?
Yeah, so I think Ozil was very clever.
That was a very good move.
He was very clever. The club mascot, which, by the way, again, when that was reported, and I know the guy who does that mascot thing, he's worked at the club for probably over nearly 30 years. He's worked at the club, and his primary job is not as a mascot. The mascot thing he just did as a voluntary thing. I think the press got hold of that story and blew it up. Oh, they sacked Gunnosaurus. No, that was a deeper thing. The guy lost his job because they laid off loads and loads of people. And a guy like that who's been at the club, and this is something that I haven't liked at Arsenal. There's been a lot of people that have been at Arsenal for a very long time, and through this pandemic, they've sort of made a load of them redundant. So that guy, the bigger issue on that is he lost his job, and he'd been there for a long time. And those type of people are the type of people that would work at Arsenal for free They love the club.
What
So
does he
that
do?
was the big. That was the big.
What
Sorry,
does he do, Robbie? What does he do away from walking around and look like Eddie?
he.
Oh, you're going to pay a price for that one. We'll go back to last weekend's result.
He did a lot of things around the club, like the meet and greet. He just did a lot of it. I think he used to do a lot of stuff to do with the museum. I remember, like, on a lot of the tours abroad, he'd always be there as well, helping out and doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So that guy was Arsenal through and through. The mascot thing was just a minor part of his job. So, you know, I think he got used a bit by the whole situation, because the guy at the end of the day, that's a guy that's like Arsenal through and through, who's lost his job. And that's how I look on it. You know, and there's been many others as well. But that part wasn't really reported by the press, because it was a better story to, Arsenal have laid off Gunnosaurus and things like that. You know what I mean? Which is what, again, unfortunately, a lot of times, a lot of these stories in the press, you know, they'll have a go at us. But some of those stories that they report are, you know, they're not great stories.
Hey, that's why we say in it, Ernie, never be a mascot. Don't be a mascot.
So anyway,
don't be a mascot.
Let's talk a little bit about football, because Ricky Hill's going to be coming in very, very shortly.
Yeah.
Robbie, where would you place Arsenal now? Because we're of the opinion, well, not Rodney, but me and Eddie. I don't know about Robert.
Just say Eddie. It's Eddie.
You're not really a top 10 side now.
Well, you know, the thing is that at the moment, right, we're having a terrible season. And I see Eddie laughing. I see you laughing, Ernie. But last season, what did Man United win?
Yeah, but we're
Arsenal. Last season, Arsenal won an FA Cup. Man United won nothing. Man United are in a similar boat to us.
No, we're not.
Apart from Manchester United, let me say, Manchester United spend a lot more money than Arsenal. There's a lot more money invested in their team. But if you actually was to look at the Manchester United as a team, the underachievements of them is even worse than Arsenal.
Yeah,
because you got to 4 or 5 semi-finals last year and you didn't win anything.
No,
and Mikel Arteta, in his first season as manager, won the FA Cup. You've got to put respect on his name for that. But I'm also not saying that we are where we should be. We are a team in transition. We're underachieving at the moment, really, in the league. That's been due to a lot of issues. We make too many mistakes in defence. We've had too many red cards this season. All self-inflicted stuff, and plus as well, it's a team that's had a lot of problems behind the scenes. You guys have been talking about it with Ozil and with many other players that need to be moved on. I don't think you can judge Mikel Arteta and Arsenal properly until sort of next season, when he starts getting some of his own players on board. But I feel for you guys, the United guys.
We're not asking about Man United. We're asking about.
No, but you're playing it.
When have you ever won the Champions League? We won the Europa League. We won the FA Cup as many times as you have.
Wait a minute, Eddie.
You're not qualifying for anything this year.
Eddie, I know what you're trying to do, and I definitely know what Ernie's trying to do, because he talks to me all the time, right? Right, you, man, the only man that's in a position to run up his mouth with me is Robbo Ranks, Liverpool.
Don't be ridiculous.
You are not in the position to run up your mouth, because you're in the same boat. You're in the same boat.
They haven't won anything. They won it last year, and you can see what it's taken out. The engine is done. The engine mash up now.
Robbie is right. It's not about any. It's about progress. And you guys have lost your way since Alex Ferguson. At least, as Robbie said, these guys are picking up trophies, bro. Sometimes
have you looked at how many trophies we've won since Alex has gone? Because you just talk.
Mourinho, listen, Mourinho was your manager. That was your period. Shut up.
Listen, any team.
I love it.
Why are we even talking about Liverpool?
Anyway, listen. Stop.
Hold on, Robbie. Robbo.
No, hang on, stop.
Hold on, Robbo. I want to ask Robbie about this guy, Cedric. because we're passing
every week. Every week he comes
every
up.
week. We try. Who is he?
Cedric. What's wrong with Cedric?
Yeah, kind of. Who is he? What am I dealing with, Robbie? What's he doing?
Cedric's actually. See, you guys not watching Arsenal? He's actually had a good season. He's actually had a decent season. Cedric so far. If anything, I think he should be starting ahead of Hector Bellerin. He's played well when he's played. So you man spend so much time looking at us. You need to look at some of your own players.
No,
I was watching your game last night. Again, this is what I say.
Bro, you came on as a man to honor. But if that's how we're gonna do
it. All that respect is now gone.
You started it. No, you know what, right, Eddie? You man, I know this guy Ernie, yeah, because Ernie. He's always up in your mentions, right? When United win, I remember Ernie. I'm not speaking for Eddie now, but Ernie, I know a couple of months ago he was sending me stuff about winning the league.
No,
right? And then a couple of weeks ago, when I sent a message to Ernie and I said, "Yo, so what? How's the league going?" He then told me that he didn't say that.
I never said that.
Yo, what are you talking about, man? You told me you're gonna win the league.
No, let me add some ice into that, yeah?
No, you don't add no ice.
Let me add some ice into it, because you're not going to hide and talk. But now go on it. The only reason why we're doing a football channel, Robbie, because that plum said, we're going to win the league. And I'm going to get, because he's been giving me £20 for about the last 5 years.
We've had a few bets as well.
Try to defend it, Robbie.
Can I ask a question? All of it seems to be on man. We're at Liverpool in the Premier League and we're at Arsenal in the Premier League. Can we just do that?
We're going to talk about that because we're going to talk.
No, I didn't ask you that. I said, where are you?
Arsenal is 10th.
And where are Liverpool?
About 8th, 7th.
Okay. Right. All right, let's leave it there. Who did we just beat on Saturday? Rob, help me, Rob.
You beat Manchester City, but then I could say have you beaten us this season?
We don't need to, because I just say congratulations.
Why are you referencing who you beat last week then? It's
because I want to celebrate the fact. No, I want to celebrate the fact that at 41 points thereabout, you've avoided relegation.
But then your argument's irrelevant because you're saying, who did you beat last week? I'm asking you, did you beat us this season? We went to Old Trafford, we beat you. You didn't beat us at the Emirates either.
Arsenal were putting 4 points.
It's a good thing. Because of us, you've avoided relegation. You want to say thank you. You want to show a little respect. But you're getting cheeky. We give you 4 points.
Robbie, you've dealt with harsher fans than those two dudes. Let's get to the fixture list. Where we at before we bring in our other special guests. I know Robbie's short of time, but we'll just ask you. We won't ask you about the whole calendar or the week's games. We will just nail it down to Arsenal and Tottenham. It's a home game. It's at your stadium. Sunday, 4:30? 4:30.
Yeah, Super Sunday. Yep.
It is. I don't think it's I don't personally think it's a defining game for either teams, but it will make a difference, obviously, because of confidence and what have you going on. But the who wins 3 points, I don't think it makes a difference to Tottenham or Arsenal. What do you reckon about the game? Your score prediction, and who do you think is going to be that standout player, bro?
I think. Listen, we've got a brilliant record again. I don't think they've beaten us at the Emirates for about nearly 20 years in the league or something like that. Yeah, we've got a fan. Again, you see, people don't look at those things. It's been a very long time since they've beaten us at the Emirates. We've got a very good record against them. I guess the only thing is there's no fans, so that could have a bearing on how it comes. They're the favourites at the moment. They've got, they've probably got a better team than us, if I'm being real. But I'm confident we're going to win the game. I'm going for a 2-1 win. You know, I think this Arsenal team at the moment is I like if we could only cut out the mistakes we make, because we're playing a decent brand of football at the moment. I think with Odegaard coming into the midfield, and I think with Smith Rowe, we're much more dynamic attacking team. I'm starting to see patterns of play. I can see Ronnie Biggs there running up his mouth. That's our next one, right? But this is a better Arsenal, and I think as well going into that game, all our players are kind of fit at the moment. You know what I mean? Kieran Tierney's been a big player's fit. Partey's fit. So I think it's going to be, that game's a lot closer than what people think. A lot of people thinking, I did a podcast where I was on the Spurs channel earlier. They think they're just going to come and roll over. I'm like, roll us over. I'm like, where are they getting that from? Again, another team that they'll get a couple of wins and then they think they're a prime Barcelona or something. Right? So I'm going for an Arsenal win. You know, I think Arsenal as well, you know what I mean? It was had that win over Olympiacos last night. That was, even though again it was laden with mistakes, but attacking wise, we were good. We should have been, before Olympiacos equalised, we should have been about 3-4 goals up. So I like the way that we go into teams and we're on the front foot and we're looking to take the game to teams. And when we get it right, we can be good.
So what score did you say? What score did you say, Robbie?
I'm gonna go for 2-1. 2-1 to the Arsenal.
What say you?
We're strong at home against Tottenham.
I feel like Doctor Strange in the Marvel comics when he's going through all the permutations, and he's gone through 14. I've gone through 14 million different permutations. I don't see how. See what Tottenham have got is an attacking force, even at 70%, which is probably equal to the only Man City and maybe, I don't know, Liverpool in their prime when those guys were playing comes close to that. The attacking options with Song, and then, you know, you got a guy who they're now saying can do everything, Harry Kane. They're building around him because if he goes, they're in a problem. You got Bale who's come off the golf course, and you got Dele Alli who is in the mix again. I think it's 2-0 to Tottenham.
Ooh, at the Emirates.
Do you know
the
what
silence
it is,
should indicate to you. You know
what it is. Robbie might bear me out on this. The frustrating unpredictability of Arsenal. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. You take the Burnley game last week where there was a huge VAR faux pas, right? But that said and done, Arsenal should have been out of sight.
Out of sight.
You know what I mean?
Isn't that when he tried to play the ball across the 6-yard area, right?
Let's just put VAR to side because that's a different program altogether. But Arsenal are so unpredictable, it makes them dangerous. Win, lose, or draw, they're unpredictable. They can go, and I'll be serious, they can go to Old Trafford early in the season and win 1-0. Partey was all over the place and performed well. And yet they can go to Burnley last week and be all over the place with the basic errors. I just don't know what's going to happen in that game. I'll be honest with you.
What's the score prediction?
Listen, that's the other thing as well, right? You named out their front three there, Eddie, and listen, don't get me wrong, Harry Kane, Son, great players, right? But is Mourinho going to be brave enough to come and be on the front foot at Arsenal?
He has to.
You know what I mean? He'll do that against Burnley. He'll do that at home.
He has no choice, Robert.
Wolfsburger. You look at some of the teams they've beaten where they've sort of been like that. These are teams that they're supposed to beat anyway, right? But every time I've seen Tottenham this season, when they've then come up against teams that also can fire back, then Mourinho defaults to that safety first, catch them on the counter-attack thing. So I'm not even too sure if he'll play that front three.
I think if that
because is he gonna? Sorry to cut you, Rodney. I was saying to those Tottenham guys I was speaking to earlier. We've got, like, say for instance, Kieran Tierney at left back who will push back Bale. I don't think is he going to be brave enough to play Bale, knowing that Bale doesn't do those defensive duties, and knowing that if we've got the ball, Tierney will bomb past him and get crosses in, and they'll be outnumbered at the back because we've got firepower as well. We've got Saka, we've got Aubameyang, who's, by the way, Aubameyang is firing again. He scored 8 in his last 8. We've got there's the options of Lacazette. You've got Pepe, who's a very unpredictable player but scores goals. Right, there's goals in that Arsenal team. We've in recent games, you know what I mean, we put 4 past Leeds. We put, you know what I mean, 3 past
Leicester.
We scored Leicester. You know what I mean, we went to Leicester away and we totally dominated them and put 3 past them. Yeah, so This is
They've
for
got a
some
few
reason.
injuries, though, haven't
For
they?
some reason, people are looking at Arsenal like it's some. It's totally what Rodney says. There's a team that will turn up, and on any given day will beat. Right, and I'm saying Tottenham don't have a great record at the Emirates. So where is all this energy coming from? Because the front three scored four. The front three, yeah, they scored 4 goals against Crystal Palace. I'm sorry, at home. So I'm not, a lot of people are being tricked again by this illusion. But are they going to come to the Emirates with that bravery and be on the front foot? Personally, judging off of what I've seen in Mourinho this season, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do that.
Let's get those quick score predictions. Rodney, what do you reckon? What do you reckon the score for Sunday?
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and say with Tottenham's front three that Arsenal will not concede. I can't.
No.
I can't see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet.
Ernie, what is your score prediction? I know you've been off for a few.
I'm not wasting no time on that because we've got Ricky to come. I'm going 2-2.
2-2 as well.
Yeah, I've written down here 2-2. As much as I'd like to see Spurs bust them up.
See, a bad mind. You see that? Ernie, they're bad mind.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. There's a Man United supporter who gets hurt up, bruised up by Tottenham 6-1, and you want to say that? Woo.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Bad mind, man.
See, Robbo says I can't take my licks. I can take my licks.
No, you can't.
You had no choice that day. You had no choice.
When they hold that 6-1, Daddy Ernie was missing.
Yeah.
He was missing. I was sending texts to him. They were bouncing back. I couldn't find him.
Hey,
all right, listen,
you're missing in action.
All the texts that you sent to me, I've got on here, so mine don't have.
That's not even your phone.
Ernie, you're going with a 2-2, right?
I'm going 2-2. What are you going with?
Listen, I'm not going to be taken in by Robbie. He's silky. He was a radio man, so he's gonna silk it up for Arsenal. I go by my eyes. I don't see Arsenal winning that game, but I do also not see Tottenham winning the game. I think Mourinho, as Eddie says, Mourinho is gonna play. He's gonna want to go for the game, and Arteta. I just think it's going to be a battle of the coaches in this game. It's going to be a battle of wit, and I think Mourinho ekes out a draw. I can't see it being nothing more than a 0-0 or a 1-1.
Nah, it can't be 0-0. Not those two.
North London derby's never 0-0, man.
And it won't end with 22 players on the pitch either.
Different coaches this time round. It's
I
Arteta.
think it will.
It's
Well, no,
Arteta.
Arteta, we call him. Arteta.
Hey, Robbie, I hope you can stay with us. Robbie, I hope you can stay with us for another 10 more minutes because I don't want you to leave when we have another legend. And as I said, we've got 1, 2, 3. Well, Ed, I don't know about Ed, but we've got 4 legends so far. So we're gonna add a 5th legend to the show. And I mean, Ernie, you got to help me here.
Well,
let me just say this: Ernie's a legend in radio. He has been playing music on the radio longer than anyone on any radio station. That makes him a legend. He's done this 5 nights a week. He was the first DJ to introduce to the UK's ear, believe it or not, and don't listen to the Rodigan nonsense. Big up, David. Ernie was the first to play Barry Salmon. Ernie was the first to bust Buju Banton. Ernie even got it wrong on Shaggy, It Wasn't Me, but then he found another song and made Shaggy a mega star. It was what he was doing 5 days a week on Choice FM. So I tip the hat to the legend, Daddy Ernie. But the bullshit I won't buy from Ernie is...
Right?
Hang on. Oh, actually. And Ernie, you can hear Ernie 30,000 feet up. You going to Jamaica, transatlantic, Super Jam is in the air. That makes him a legend. But the only thing is, the bullshit that he said that he trained our next guest to play football. I'm not having it. I ain't having it. Nah. He's here. He's in the building. He's in the building. The silky smooth tactician. This is before Glenn Hoddle.
Yes.
And David Rocastle.
Yes.
Hey.
And Paul
Ricky. Let me say, Ricky. Ricky Hill's in the house.
Boom, 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 boom,
Evening,
boom.
gentlemen.
Ricky, dispel the bullshit. Did Ernie teach you how to play football? He keeps saying it every week. You and your brother.
Robbo, my feed's gone. Where am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I can't see anyone. Just myself. But yeah, there's some truth in that, Robbo. Now I can cut everyone. I can see everyone now.
Thank you.
There is some truth in that because I was a little boy, just probably
See you
not,
later.
Yeah.
and we were living around the corner from each other.
Yes.
So Ernie, Deanie, and
Yeah.
Harry, the Harriets, they were just around the corner from where my brother and I were, and we used to kick ball together. So there's a lot of truth in that.
What was we about? I was about 7. No, I was about 9.
Okay.
And he was a little bit younger than that.
I'd have been 6, yeah, 6
Yeah.
or 7.
And Ian, his brother Ian, was a bad player. At that time, Ian was the one who we thought was going to go all the way, but Ricky just hopped the ante.
Ricky, did he
Opportunity,
just,
yeah.
Ricky, did he just collect the ball when you were practicing your shots?
No way. He had that left foot there.
Oh,
That was
God.
cultured.
Jeez.
Cultured.
The left foot, man.
Honestly. Like
Oh,
He can't even bend. Ricky, that left foot can't even bend anymore. It's got arthritis. Everything.
Poor thing. Poor thing.
But look,
Hey,
Ricky, you know, we got Robbie here, who's from Arsenal TV, you know, and actually comes from the team where you,
No,
the
Robbie.
area that you made your name, Luton.
Luton in the house. Big up.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Legendary player. Legendary player, Ricky Hill, man.
Respect, Robbie.
I still don't. I
Family.
don't believe Ernie. Ernie just used to. What made me laugh about that story is that where Ernie says he taught you. Really, it turns out he used to kick ball with you.
Yeah.
No. This is the thing that you got. You've heard
To learn
Ricky
from my
say it.
elders, Robbie.
Come on, you've heard him
They're not-
say
they
it.
don't
Ricky
wanna believe
said-
it. They don't want to
Ricky
believe
said
it.
he
They
used to
don't want to
kick ball.
believe it.
He used to kick ball. But no. Ricky, you know, when I was growing up as well, like Ricky Hill, Brian Steen, these guys were legends, man. And you know, some of the pioneer black footballers of this country. You know what I mean? And you know, I think that guys like Ricky Hill, you know, Brian Steen, and then of course you got the you know, Cyril Regises and all these people. They're the reasons why we see so many black players playing football today. I really would like to see. I would really like to see these guys honoured in the right way for the, you know, the path that they, you know, that they started. These are the reasons why we have so many black players. And you know, when you hear about racism in football, which still exists unfortunately to this day, but those guys there, they went through way worse. They were the pioneers.
What was it like for you,
Right,
Ricky,
Robbie.
when you first started?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
right.
again, you know where we come from in the northwest London. You know how many good players they were, black and white, but predominantly black players that you would have played with at school. I definitely played with at school. I used to go and watch you guys playing, and I used to admire so many of them players and thought, why are they not professional footballers? And they were never invited for trials. I think Greshford might have been one of the first that we had. But no, I got a lucky break. I was spotted playing out in Hitchin. I was signed on by Luton. And from there, I kind of quickly went through the ranks, made my first team debut at 17, whilst I was still a first-year apprentice.
Yo,
And
We're
is that
here.
me there? Whoa.
jeez.
Got any spare material? A bit short then, X-rated. Is it after 10 o'clock? All right, yeah, we're all right then. But no, my first away game was an eye-opener. Played at Burnley, Sean Dyche's club. And yeah, they let me have it before the game started. During the game, 3/4 of the fans, which were thousands, were there, were singing songs about my colour and, you know, what I looked like and how much was in the window, and he's a coon, he's blacker than you and me. So I'm 17, I'm on my own, only black player on the pitch. All my teammates looking with sadness in their eyes. But what can you do? So I just went on and played. I wasn't going to let someone who's racially abusing you take away my dream. And as it turned out, I scored the winning goal on the day. And then that was the start of things. But everywhere we went in London, I think Arsenal might have been one of the only ones with respects to Robbie and Rodney that I didn't get racial abuse, but I got a song named after me, which is an honor that the opponents are naming a song to try and put you off your game. But it wasn't any racial overtones at all.
Was it something to do with your hair?
Oh, gone.
Was it anything to do with your hair, Ricky?
And I knew you was going to bring that, Eddie. We're going to see you from time, And the last time I come on your show, you asked me about if I still have the
can I ask you a serious question? Can I ask you? So when I look at you, of all the people that have been named, right, I always think, well, why aren't you coaching at the top level? I think, well, what's going on there? Is it about badges? Is it about fame? The Rooney Rule, of course, has come in. Just talk to us a little bit about that, because that's important right now for the youngsters watching this and listening.
But it's also, before Ricky answers that, it's also important to remember that fourth Black England international.
Yes, Rodney. Yes.
And also manager of Luton Town. You and Chrissy Ramsey were there.
First black or black British team.
Yeah, man. So the story isn't just about Ricky playing for Luton,
Correct.
It's long.
Sorry, I interrupted. Eddie asked a question.
Well, that's a $64 million question, Ed. I mean, we were taught, I knew it was going to be difficult to transition from player to coach because there'd been no previous black players that had gone into coaching or management. So we were first generation all over again. So it was going to be a battle, but we were encouraged to go and take your badges, to do, your preparation, get accredited properly. So when the opportunity does come around, you're ready. And I know for a fact of Bob Hazel, Luther, Cyril, Crooksey, they all went and done their A licenses 30 years ago, hoping that they would be called to get an opportunity. Now, for whatever reason, and again, we look at the racial inequality side of things, they haven't been able to get into the system to create a track record and then get the opportunity when the job comes up for the managerial position. Having said that, both Luther and Cyril had long spells in the reserves at Watford and West Brom, respectively. And every time the job became available or a position as a first team coach, they got overlooked. And I, for whatever reason, I don't know. So myself, I've been fortunate whereby I've been at Tottenham and Sheffield Wednesday in the academy, but I've also been abroad and experienced actually being the head guy, the head honcho, the director of football, technical director, head coach, and being successful. Won 3 Coach of the Year awards in foreign countries, and won championships. I've come back to the UK, and obviously I'm still on the outside looking in.
That's crazy. I mean, the situation that you've it's well documented. The book is going to be out on is it the 15th of March?
Yes, Monday.
The book is called The Love of the Game, Ricky Ill, the man who brought the Rooney Rule to the UK. There's still a lot of confusion about the Rooney Rule. And you also said it in your book where you mentioned that the Rooney Rule, although you were the person to highlight it heavily in the UK, it's not going to be taken serious for a couple of reasons. One, by the time you start explaining a little bit about what happened in the NFL, and you try to apply that to the average football person and even the management level, higher level in the English game, they'll say NFL is not football. So you've kind of admitted that in your book. And you've also said that because people just assume that Rooney, when they hear Rooney, they say, this ain't Wayne Rooney. What's Wayne Rooney got to do with it? But you've acknowledged that, you are acknowledged for bringing it, the Rooney Rule, the attention of the Rooney Rule to the game. But the solutions without the Rooney Rule, that's the interesting part. I haven't dig down into the book because you go further. You say later on in the book that you would explain it. How do you transplant something like Dan Rooney's rule into the UK game to change it? How are you gonna? How do you see it happening?
I see there's no reason for it not to happen, Robbo, because since I spotted it whilst I was in Trinidad coaching in 2003, before it was even implemented within the USA. And I've made it my mission to find out more about it. I liaised with the NFL lawyer who put it into place, which was Belinda Lerner. I also went to the States to meet some of the people from the Fitzpollard Alliance, who was Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson's lawyer, was part of. Also, Cyrus Myrie, the civil rights lawyer, was part of that group. And I went and got the information. I came back to the UK in 2004, presented it to the League of Managers. They liked it. They thought it was had some legs. I then presented it to all of the stakeholders in the game in 2005, the PFA, the Premier League, the Football League. They felt it could be construed as positive discrimination. But I said, well, it's just about the willingness to change things. Now, moving forward, the FA have implemented it in its form. I didn't want it to be implemented in the same way that they have in America. I want to take pieces out from it in terms of the hiring practices that they have to explore before filling the vacancies. And what's happened, and I'm glad that I'm sitting here to say this, ITN have used it, Channel 4, English Cricket County have used it, South Africa Rugby Union have used it. So they're using parts of the Rooney Rule for the hiring practices to increase the equality. So that's all I was hoping the Football Federation and the Premier League would do, but for whatever reason, they seem reticent to actually embrace it.
Well, what a wonderful legacy. You know, if you're going to be remembered for something, it isn't always what we want, Ricky. What a wonderful thing to be the person who's responsible for fairness and a meritocracy across all boards. That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you, Eddie. I'm trying it. I mean, you know, the thing that spurred me on was the fact that I've never looked up at anyone or down at anyone. You know, I don't have an inferiority complex. And I see a number of my ex-teammates who, in my heart of hearts, I knew that I was more talented. I knew that had more about me personally than they had. But they've gone on to have 1,000 games as a manager. And, you know, managerial and managing is just a matter of personality, have a clear direction, have a philosophy, have an identity, and being able to produce a team spirit and a team camaraderie, and then go out and do the business. And I think, you know, I've shown that I can organize that.
Ricky, do you still feel that you would take a job in, say, English Premier League or Championship now if the opportunity came along?
I wouldn't be frightened of it at all, Rodney. I guess the likelihood of that happening is closer to 1 in a million, maybe 1 in 2 million, because irrespective of how well I've done abroad, it hasn't really mattered when I've come back to the UK. Again, I don't know if people uphold that kind of success that I've had. On one instance, let's take my tenure at Trinidad in San Juan Jabrete. We were the champions of Trinidad. We were the champions of the Caribbean in terms of the professional leagues in the Caribbean. It's the first time the club ever got to the Champions League, and we got to the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions League. I won 4 trophies out of possible 5 in the one season. And I had about 13 players that went and played for Trinidad when they qualified for the 2006 World Cup in Germany. So I have a pedigree within the game in terms of the style of how I can coach and how I can improve players. But for whatever reason, and again, we know part of it is race, part of it, there's been no track record, part of it is getting that opportunity and being able to have a fair chance. I was given 4 months at Luton with someone else's trash to turn into gold, as we say, you know, and give you a basket for fetch water. And, you know, who did they expect from me? What was the expectation? For me, after 4 months, you know, I had 15 years there as a player. And to then become 4 months is probably one of the shortest tenured managers. That kind of sticks in my throat to say, well, wow, you've given all of that to them and they've given you very little in return.
You said in the book also that when you joined Luton 2000 and they've given you the job for 4 months, you know, you looked on social media after this rapturous applause you got when they announced you as the manager, and few games in, you've looked on social media and you've seen somebody write, he's an awful manager, and you said that those 3 words stuck with you, and I was thinking to myself, you probably hear worse things as a manager, but why did those 3 words, when someone just says you've been an awful manager, why did you say in your book that stuck with you more than anything? Some of the abuse you've taken. Why? Yeah,
because that was said in around 2006, 16, Rob, 15, I saw that. Because
Okay,
I was living in Florida. Yeah, after I left Luton. I was
Yeah.
living in Florida. I just finished at Tampa, and someone was trying to get me involved with Twitter, and he said if they man the platform for me, I wouldn't have to do it. I'm not on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms, and I've always resisted getting involved in it. But then he said, okay, let me look at something. So he said he looked through everything in terms of what the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he said, and I just glanced at it. He said, absolute horrible manager. And I thought, whoa, that's a bit strong. If you're basing that on my 4 months at Luton, then that's a little bit unfair and a little bit unjust in my estimation. And I thought, and then what spurred me to then write the book again was the fact when Cyril passed away 3 years ago, because it came out the blue. I was in Chicago, and Otis Roberts called me, Jason's uncle, and he said, Rick, I'm sorry, Big C's passed away today. And I just couldn't believe it. It just hit me so hard. I was there on my own because my family's still in England, and I was crying. I couldn't get back to sleep at 3 a.m. And then I thought, you know what? We're so fallible that we can be here today and then gone tomorrow. And I'd like to leave some kind of legacy in terms of just my my career, during my career, and pre my career in respects to how the journey, and it does intrinsically linked with race, because you know we can't get away from that fact and the obstacles that we encounter.
Ricky.
Go on, Rob.
Sorry,
Yes,
I just wanted to ask Ricky. Sorry, and I want to ask Ricky a question, right? One of the things I always find when I speak to like ex-players, is nobody really wants to be bothered to go. You know, I'm talking about black players, ex-black players, into try and to be into management or coaching, because they look on it and say, Robbie, it's just not worth it. You just don't get the opportunities. And for me, I mean, I find it really terrible, the lack of black people, black players, ex-black players that are still involved in the game after they finish playing. How do we change that? I mean, you know, what is it? Because we got to change that mindset where black players, ex-black players and black professionals feel that, you know, there is a pathway where they can end up managing, they can end up coaching at the very highest level. And I know there are, you know, I mean, what is it? What is the change that's going to...
I think that might have been correct, Rob, in respects to the guys, you know, like, I know why would he bother completely Spanish?
I think Ricky's frozen.
He's a high-profile international player of great esteem, you know, champion.
Freezy.
I wanted to ask.
I mean, actually,
this weather's bad out there. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you've been freezing up a bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Ricky what's the possibility of having a complete black setup? If they can't get into the management, why don't some of these ex-players get together and get a club in very much the same way as we got Leary Constantine together all those years ago with Mick Langley and Webster Johnson and people like that? What is there a possibility of something like that happening? I don't know if Ricky's heard that. Oh, he's going to come back in. I mean, you know,
the point that Robbo was asking of Ricky, Robert, I don't even think it's about the players. I think it's about the will of the authorities and the individual clubs to make those decisions to give ex-players like him an opportunity.
Yeah, but the point is, if you're going through it, Rodney, and you think, well, I'm looking at Gerrard up there at Rangers, get big club like that. I'm looking at Rooney, gets Derby.
Well,
I'm looking at this. No, I'm just saying, what I heard there was Robbie asked a question. You don't think that there's a job out there for you, so you don't even bother to try. That's what I heard.
Yeah. But the thing I found, right, guys, right, is that when I it's kind of like, you know, like sometimes when you're speaking to young black youths and you're trying to encourage them into certain things, and they're like, you know what, Robbie, man, it's all right for you, but boy, there's no, you know, I can't. There's no point. Because they can't see a pathway, and that's always the worst thing when you can't see that pathway, and then you start to turn around and say, well, there's no point, there's no pathway.
So you don't
And
trust.
that, I feel that is something that needs to be addressed. If somebody can see a pathway, then they'll do the badges, then they'll do all those things to try and become a manager or a coach. And if they're good enough, they'll get the job. But if they can't see a pathway, and I see a lot of that in ex-players or players even that you talk to, where they're just like, well, yeah, you know, when it finishes, man, I'm just going to try and get whatever money I'll get and invest in something else, because there's no pathway in it. There's no point in me wasting my time doing badges and them thing where I'm just going to get overlooked.
I mean, I think we talked about it on this forum over the last couple of weeks, that the pathway, Rob, is actually a cul-de-sac, isn't it, really? Because if a black manager gets a position, he's invariably going to get a job where there's no resources, whether it be Chrissy Powell, Huddersfield, etc., etc. But look at the magnificent job that Jimmy Hasselbank is doing at Burton.
I knew you'd
look at
say
the wonderful job that he's doing.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't guarantee him a job in the Championship when he leaves Burton. You've got to remember that I followed Ricky and Chris Ramsey around at Luton. It was a fantastic story for me at The Voice, that here you had a manager and a coach of colour. What have they been offered since?
Yeah,
The
other thing is as well that I find, Rodney, is that every time you do have a black manager,
you're back in.
Every time you do have a black manager, it's like they're carrying the whole weight of the black nation on their shoulders.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh,
There's still people who refer to John Barnes flopping at Celtic and saying that's evidence why you can't have a black manager.
After Celtic, it took him 10 years to get another job at Tranmere, wasn't it?
Exactly, but you know, it's like if a black manager gets a job and he loses his job, it's like that set back the whole black race of manager for about another 5 years. You know what I mean?
If we're talking about good managers, you've got a Chris Hughton, all right, the godfather of black managers, right? Why is he never touted for a top 10 job in the Premier League? He'll never be considered.
Well, we might get to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. but we know the answer, especially when the pathway for Gerrard, for Rooney, Lampard. I mean, let's not cry for Frank Lampard. With all due respect, he'll be back. Do you know what I mean? He'll be back and he'll get a decent job.
Look at the job Sol Campbell did. Right, exactly. He went to the worst.
He went to Mansfield, wasn't it? Where did he go?
Right, the guy was captain. He's captain of Tottenham. Right, he captained Arsenal several times. He was known as a leader on the pitch. He was played for England, right? And I will give you a job, the worst job in the Football League, and he still went and done a good job there. Kept them in the league against all odds. What's he got since? I mean, then actually his promotion was then to get the worst job in the next league up. Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I just look at these 100%. Things, right? And honestly, I get very, you know, I remember meeting Darren Moore when just after they sacked him from West Brom.
Yeah,
you know, I'm glad that he's back in now, and you know, he recently got the Sheffield Wednesday job, didn't he? So that's quite a good job, you know, and I wish him all the best there. But you know, I'm just really, as I was saying to Ricky before he sort of froze up there, the thing that I really worry about is that the lack of pathway that a lot of the potential managers out there and coaches as well, because that's another area where we don't see enough. The lack of pathway, where you don't see no one like us there, and you don't see that opportunity. You think to yourself, well, yeah, what's the point, man? Why am I going to, you know, I don't see a pathway. And I think that's really needs to be addressed.
Okay.
I think Ricky's back. Ricky's back, I think.
Ricky.
Yeah, no,
Ricky.
He's gone.
On that point, in what Robbie's saying, yes, Ernie?
Yeah,
Can
Ricky. Do you think there's
Hello,
a
fellas?
Can you hear us, Ricky? Hello?
No, he's frozen. He's in and out.
He's in and out. All right, so I'll ask it between us. Do you think there is a possibility of us getting
Yeah, I've got you.
All right,
He's back. He's back.
Ricky. Hello?
No,
Hello?
John.
No. You got to move back to London, Ricky.
Hello. Yeah. I tell you what, country life is no good up here. I don't got Wi-Fi yet.
Now, Ricky, time is up against us.
Do I think what?
Do I think? Do you think the way forward is players getting together and forming a black club, a black organized club, very much how we done it all them years ago with Constantine? What do you reckon?
I think there's so much merit in that idea, Ed, but I would want the Premier League, Richard Masters, to include us in his solidarity payments that he gives to all these clubs throughout the whole league just for existing. It's been...
He's gone again.
He's gone again. I mean, Robbie, does anyone think...
He has to be the one that gives us some of that solidarity.
But do you think, you know, it's probably come to the time where we just have to do our own thing? Robbie's doing his thing at AFTV, very successful. Eddie's doing his thing over at the BBC, very successful. I'm not sure what Robbo's doing up at Liverpool, but his radio show.
I'm worldwide, baby. I'm worldwide.
Rodney's doing his thing, right? Is the time coming where these players are earning so much money to invest in their own football club?
We should be able to do that with the amount of entrepreneurs that we have now that have done well in their own right, who love the game, who have... If you could put people together that have that kind of clout and power, there's every chance, Ed. Robbie would know a little bit more about that than I would in terms of putting the consortium together.
Well,
listen, I'd love to see. You know what? I just want to see more representation of black people in football. You know what I mean? And when I say in football, I mean at the highest level. You know what I mean? I've said it before. My club, Arsenal. I love the club to bits, but I've been to a board meeting. There weren't one black person there. Right? There's not one black person on that board. Right? And look at the area that Arsenal's in. How can that be? How can there?
And that's probably the case for most clubs. That's probably the case.
And that is the majority of Premier League clubs, Championship clubs. And then I look on it and I think, look how many black people play football and play football very well. How can it be that none of them would make a good manager? None of them would make a good coach. You know what I mean? It's terrible. It's and I really do think it's an issue that gets swept under the carpet a lot, and it's an embarrassment, really. You know what I mean? And throughout the whole football, you know, in the media, there's not enough representation. You know, and look how many of us play it, not just in the Premier League, but at grassroots right down. And how can that be? And something has to be done about it. And,
take Fulham.
A big pardon?
I was about to say, you know, that you're speaking about it. I mean, it's what you do and what Ricky's done, documenting in a book. It's about speaking about it because it's a shameful situation. We love
it's
football,
embarrassing.
we all love the game. It's a shameful. Anybody that watches the football and you have connections with those football clubs and management, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's a shameful situation.
You know what, Robbo, for me, it's a bigger issue than, you know, like people will talk about, oh, this person racially abused that person online, or this, you know, somebody went to a game and they racially abused the player. Don't get me wrong, that's all disgusting. But this is worse.
Worse, of course.
This is worse, right? Because this is like institutionalized. It's like it's institutionalized racism. This is worse, right?
If it happens everywhere else, why wouldn't you expect it to happen in football?
Well, it's
exactly right. You know, you've got big companies now and big businesses that are having to make sure they bring in representation, a diverse team, a diverse, you know, board of these big companies. But yet still in football, they're not diverse. No. There's a lot of talk. I remember somebody saying to me, right, when it came to Arsenal, that, oh yeah, Robbie, but you shouldn't say that. They do a lot of work in the community. I said, yo, I'm not asking for a handout here. I'm asking for representation.
Meritocracy.
Yeah, I want to see somebody like me on that Arsenal board, because you know what? We've got a lot of black fans And plus, not even just that. I just feel that if your football club is based in Islington or is based in Tottenham, when I drive through those places, right, I see a lot of people like me. I want to see the representation of that.
Reflection.
Yeah, I want to see a reflection of that. So why am I not seeing that? And I feel that this is a bigger issue than some of the issues that get pushed up. And don't get me wrong, those issues do need to be highlighted, but where are the black managers? Where are the black coaches?
Is never given, Rob.
Where are the black
given? It's taken.
Where are the decision makers? The black decision makers. Where are they? How comes none of them don't get a chance?
Correct.
That's bigger to me than somebody throwing a banana on a pitch.
So, Ernie.
Yeah.
Ernie.
Yep.
We are allowed.
He's gone again.
But once that time is over, through injury, through retirement, through 30-year-olds, we're no longer, we're expendable. We're no longer part of the industry. And it's wrong. It's 99.9%, 7% all white throughout the world. So that means that we have a shelf life of 10 years, if you're lucky, at the top level. That can't be right, because the game was there for all of us. Fulham had 9 black players on their team against Liverpool last week. No black staff member on the sideline at all. And most of the clubs in the Premier League, you look at their technical staff, there's not one black person there. Not someone that the players can look at and think, oh, I can go and speak to him if I've got an issue. I had no one when I was 17. About race. No one ever said, Ricky, don't listen to those idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Forget them calling you all these names. They just didn't mention it. It was a taboo topic. So now we have so many black players and we have so many qualified black coaches. I don't see any reason that the industry can't the top levels in the Premier, Championship, and all the other regions. But they're not prepared to do that until the sponsors say, I'm not giving you my money.
Well, that's all it's about. Absolutely.
It's about power. It's about power and influence.
Yeah, but listen, it's
almost that time, isn't it?
Somebody said that.
We are against time, but it's important that let's start today. Ricky's book is out on the 15th.
Yeah.
The Love of the Game, Ricky Hill, the man
published
who brought
by Pitch, is it? Pitch.
That line, the man who brought the Rooney Rule to the UK. I mean, it's more than just about Rooney Rule. Ricky talks about actually, and it's a nice thing when Ricky's from Northwest London and Ricky's telling you when he used to go dance in Cricklewood. Crazy. So listen, people go out and support the book. I've had a first 5 chapters and it's an amazing book already.
I need to get hold of a copy and do a review of that as well.
I tell you what, how did you get the right to do the forward?
Because Ian Wright has got to respect the man. He was there before Ian Wright. Ricky Hill. Ricky, one more question.
He's Ernie in the book. He's Ernie in the book.
No,
the man who taught me how to play football.
He's in there. He's got a mention.
There you go.
Fleeting, but he's in there.
Ricky, one last question, right? Now, you say in the book, you describe your father as a coolie man because you are a third generation from India. So you also represented England. You were the first Asian player. Black Asian player that played for England. And people used to make mention about your hair, the curly perm. Can you confirm? Was it curly perm or was it your coolie? The coolie here. Was it the coolie? Was it the coolie coming up? That's what you call yourself in the book.
You're not allowed to say that word. I work for the BBC. That's an off-limits word.
He says it in the book, coolie.
And another thing, Ricky, because we had Mr. Wint from the Jamaican Football Federation, and he says he's approached you with the possibility of you coaching Jamaica. Yes. Can you expand on that? Any truth?
Yeah, firstly, Robbo's question, it's natural, just got some gel in there. Dad was
That's Indian, a curly perm.
The only one.
What do you mean it's just got some gel? That's what a curly perm is.
No, it's no a perm. It's a perm. It's a perm. The man said he had coolie head.
Man.
So listen, Ricky, can you expand on that? Are you going to be taking up the post in Jamaica? Oh man.
Ernie, stop begging for Jamaica. We had them on last week. Listen, we had them on last week, Ernie, and you ran. You left me to deal with the gunman and from Jamaica. Go ahead.
Of course,
Ricky's all right where he's at, man. We want Ricky playing. We want Ricky managing right here.
Yes,
Listen,
we do.
guys.
Yeah, I wanted to expand on it, but look, time is up against us now. You know what I mean? So,
Robbie,
Yeah.
I know you said you were going to give us half an hour. I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay you now, bro.
No,
Listen,
Yeah,
thank you very much for coming on.
You've been brilliant, bruv. Honestly.
Thank you. You know what?
On a
Thank
serious
you.
note, what you're doing is bigger than just you. It's bigger than just Arsenal. What you're showing is through hard work, through endeavor,
Absolutely.
through passion, you're able to carve out a living. And that's what industry, they say necessity is the mother of invention. And Arsenal needed somebody like you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
As I said, everybody is all legends up on this thing, man. And I really appreciate it, man. And you guys keep doing your thing. And invite me back again soon, man. I really enjoyed it, man. And
Yeah, man.
I gotta get that Ricky or book. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
gonna get a copy as well.
It's out on the 15th, available on Amazon.
Okay.
We'll
Send me a link to that. I'm definitely going to buy that book, and I'll do something on it as well, because that is something that really I've kind of feel really passionate about, really interests me, and I just want to see. I really do want to see in the future just more black representation. You know what I mean? It's not. We're not asking for a favor here. There's black people playing football, enjoying football, watching football. Look, we've been talking about football for the past couple hours. You know what I mean? We love this game. And we all just want to be part of it on an even and equal basis. So thank you very much for having me, and thank you, Ricky. And I'm definitely going to get your book. Thank you.
Happy belated birthday, Ricky. Also,
take care.
Happy belated birthday, Smiler. Listen, guys, it's been real. Rodney Hines, big man at The Voice. Eddie Nestor, big man at BBC Drive Time. He locks the place. Ricky Hill, the legend. Daddy Ernie, the legend. Even though I still don't believe the story. It's been another Friday night. It was the Fixture. We out, people. Peace.
Bye-bye, Piers Morgan.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, James. Catch up soon.